Hello and welcome to the session on agencies of education. Education is considered as acquiring knowledge and information from different fields. It is not only acquiring knowledge, but also attaining diverse skills, making healthy relations, handling difficult situations, disseminating knowledge and inculcating certain untold ethical values in life. Though school is a formal institution that imparts education, there are a number of informal institutions that educate an individual in developing a range of capacities at different levels in life. In fact, an individual acquires informal education through the medium of experience and life situations. The day-to-day life of an individual enables him in acquiring knowledge in diverse fields and thus educating himself. Any kind of formal training or teaching is not present directly in informal education. Learning takes place through life situations when interacting with a variety of people or moving within a family, within a group of friends, within a community or society in general. In informal education, learning cannot be measured in terms of qualification or credentials. It is more of qualitative nature rather than quantitative nature. A person acquires good qualities as well as bad qualities as per his interaction and relation with people and life situations. It also indirectly depends upon what he wants to learn from any particular situation. Informal education helps a person in acquiring cultural norms, language, etiquettes, principles, skills and attitudes. Informal agencies of education are not set up in a pre-planned way to educate people as in that of formal educational institutions. For instance, a family is not designed to directly educate the people within it. Through various little duties and responsibilities of everyday life, a child learns from a family how to eat, clean herself, behave properly, do little chores and show reverence to elderly people. She also learns a few customs and cultural practices pertain to her community. Informal educational institutions and formal education institutions work in parallel in developing the personality of an individual. They complement each other for the harmonious development of a child. The knowledge, information and skill that acquired from one field of education are cross checked with that acquired from the other field. This enables a child to correct or enrich the knowledge, information and skill acquired through formal education with that of informal education or vice versa. Family, playground, peer group, social welfare centers, community networks and religious institutions are some of the important informal educational agencies and educational spaces. Today, social networks, Wikipedia, blogs, online libraries etc., also act as informal agencies that either educate people or pour diverse information. There are mainly two types of agencies that impart informal education. Some of the agencies function as active agencies and others functions as passive agencies. Peer group is an active agency of education, whereas visual media is a passive agency that imparts knowledge and skills. Active agencies. An agency is active when both parties, the educator and the one who get educated, participate actively in the learning process of acquiring and disseminating knowledge, skill or information. The agency that disseminates knowledge to a person or people in general also get influenced or educated by the participants. Interaction is mutual and both the participating parties are benefited. For instance, in a playground, everyone brings some kind of knowledge while following a general knowledge and rule of a game. A kind of sharing of this knowledge takes place during the course of a game. Mutual respect, fellow feeling, competitive spirit and adaptability are developed in the course of time from a playground. Passive agencies. In contrast to active agencies, in passive education, the agencies that disseminate knowledge and skill do not get influenced or educated by the recipients. In passive education, teaching and learning is a one way process. Interaction is also less in passive education. For instance, one can watch a television program that teaches a language, say English or Hindi, and improve his English or Hindi, but a viewer cannot influence the television in return while he acquires something from it. Similarly, the press, films, magazines and radio acts as passive agencies of education. Though blogs are seen as passive agencies, they can also work as active agency, since the people who read a blog can express their opinion openly. Family. Family provides substantial contribution to the education of a child irrespective of its quality. Family acts as a foundation for inculcating ethical, spiritual and moral principles for any growing child. A child learns to respect elders and teachers. He is taught to help others, do household chores and wash one's own dishes and clothes. A family or some members in a family can also act as a place where a child is taught many bad habits and patterns that extends throughout his life. No one in a family is acted as a formal teacher for educating a child. A child is not seen as a student at family, but the elders, parents, servants and siblings of a child act as tutors and informers in diverse ways. At times, they also learn from a child's insightful acts or questions or inquisitiveness. Education is not transacted from one person to another, rather education happens between a child and different members within a family. The nature of education is both interpersonal and intrapersonal. In a family, there is no fixed time to teach a child. Learning is an ongoing lifelong process in this institution. A child learns new words, language, etiquettes, behavior, etc. from his or her family members. This acquired knowledge is further enriched or complicated or assessed through formal education institutions such as schools and colleges. In one way, informal education that inculcated from a family or community provide the foundational base for further formal education. Family also teaches a child the basic lessons required for socialization. In family, education of a child happens without any pre-planning and formalities. In fact, the process of interacting with a child and giving instruction to him or her is not seen as a process of education at all. They are all day to day chorus of the members of a family who have a responsibility to invest time and effort to nurture a child. The do's and don'ts that a child learns from his family act as a foundational shield for his future life. When a mother or father asked a child not to touch fire, it is a learning process. Sometimes the child may not obey their instructions and attempt to touch the fire when the parents did not pay attention. As soon as the child touches the fire, immediately she withdraws her hands and begins to cry loudly. In this case, experience of a child act as a lesson for future life. The child knows well that touching fire is not safe and it burns her skin. Fixed or pre-planned curriculum is absent in family education. Neither the teacher nor the student or child is conscious about the learning process that happen between their interactions in a home. There is no conscious effort from both the parties, the receiver and giver, to educate or get educated by the other. Place of education is not fixed. It changes from a kitchen to a garden to a cowshed to a veranda to a television watching. Any place or any activity for that matter act as an educational space in home. Though well taught methods are absent in a family, a child can learn certain patterns and schedules to organize his or her life. A child learns the timings to get up, to go to the toilet, to take bath, eat breakfast, arrange his or her things, etc. through the directions and support of an elderly person. In fact, a child learns the very basic art of speaking and living from his or her family. Education acquired from a family can be evaluated only in terms of the character and ways of living of a child. Like a good teacher, one who mentors a child, a family cultivates good habits and traits in its members. The person who looks after a child acts as a model for the child in future. For instance, if a person or mother, father, servant, grandparent who looks after a child is courageous and have endurance, the child gradually learn and acquire these qualities. Instead, if they are less confident and complaining people, a child learn to accuse every person and each situation instead of making use of those situations. Family is a place where a child is taught about the moral values of life. A child learns how to behave in a community and what to ask to elderly people. They also learn the do's and don'ts that have to be followed in their future life. In a family, a child is educated in such a way that he or she gets an all round development, including some basic vocational training such as cleaning his or her clothes, washing dishes and arranging things properly. Parenting is basically a process that educates a child at different stages of his or her life. Peer group. Peer group is a social relationship between people of the same age, class and with more or less similar interest. In other words, it is a social group consisting of people with equal status in terms of age, education and social class. For instance, students of the same class or division are considered as a peer group. Playmates in and outside of a school too are counted as a peer group. Even though the members of a peer group have more or less same interests or tastes, they all come from different cultural and socio-economic backgrounds. This diversity helps the members of a peer group to develop cooperation amongst the members and tolerance towards each other. Diversity tends to inculcate mutual help and support amongst the members of a peer group. Each and every member has different kinds of capabilities, limitations and needs. Generally, relationships between the members of a peer group are not much hierarchical even when people with dominant nature are present. Children begin to develop intimate friendships through peer groups. They have intrapersonal and interpersonal influence within their peer group interaction. Playground as a peer group work as an important and enjoyable educating field for all kinds of children. Even for a child who did not go to school, his or her playmates and the field of play act as an information gathering and knowledge disseminating place for the child. The child learns many things from that space while disseminating his own knowledge to his peer group. Peer group is a supportive space for any child to cross check much knowledge that she or he has gathered from other formal and informal educational spaces such as family and school. It is also a space to share all secret anxieties and information that a child could not share with their parents or teachers. In other words, peer group is a space where the socialization of a child has taken place without having the supervision of adults. It is also a space to experiment the innovative ideas of a child. Peer group initiates a child into a world of social and personal learning without compelling them to learn intentionally. She or he acquires this learning through aspiration, imitation, comparison and competition amongst the members of a peer group. The desires of a child get reflected in his or her imitation or comparison with their friends of the same age or class or group. When the comparison is healthy, competition leads from that comparison to help a child to achieve good performance equivalent to the friend or friends with which the comparison has taken place. When there is an unhealthy competition, a child begins to lose his or her confidence or even friendship. Peer group members are knitted together in such a way that they can even critique each other either playfully or seriously. The criticism may help a member to correct his or her faults or drawbacks. It encourages a member to critique his or her friends too when she or he finds something that causes discomfort or irritation. In a peer group, members can criticize each other with mutual respect. Sometimes criticism becomes a quarrel. As far as there is mutual respect and care amongst the members of a peer group, the quarrel acts as a learning tool for the people who involved in it. In peer group, individuals develop strong and lasting intimate friendships. Peer group educates a child in the following ways: inculcates qualities such as tolerance, cooperation and sharing, induces team spirit and leadership quality, introduces mutual respect to the group members, give a space for sharing intimate emotional problems, act as a vast source of information, increases cognitive and emotional development, enhances unity in supporting the members. Since the members of a peer group consist of people from different social background, one person's incapability can be lessened by the capability of another person in doing the same duty. Members influence each others in their beliefs and habits. Peer group work as a significant space in forming the identity of a child. Peer pressure and unhealthy competition are certain negative impacts of peer group learning. Peer pressure is a compulsion or demand from one or more members of a group to one particular person. Because of the compulsion, the people who are compelled by a dominant section tend to develop values or attitudes as against his or her wish. In other words, she or he is pushed over by friends to do unacceptable acts which one would not do otherwise. This may further lead to psychological or behavioral problems. Peer pressure destroys mutual trust and security amongst the members within a peer group. Community. A community can be defined as a group of people lives in a particular place, village or locality. Though they share more or less common values and customs, they belong to different castes, social class and religion. A community can also be a group of people of the same caste, religion or class. People live within a community maintains informal relations. People who depend upon the sea for their living are known as fishermen community. People belong to particular religions are known as Hindu community, Muslim community, Christian community, etc. And all the above mentioned people living in a village are termed as a village community. Initially, community is restricted to geographical territories, but today with the advent of internet facilities, people who communicate through social networks are known as internet communities. No strict rules are observed within a community, but certain customs act as a norm or rule to follow for its members. For instance, in a religious community of Hindus or Christians or Muslims, the members are supposed to follow certain rituals of visiting the church, mosque, temple regularly. Some of the members may not follow this unsaid rule and it does not treat as a crime, but advices will be given to the people of their relatives who visit the religious places. Community acts as an educational force that regulates the moral, ethical and socio-political values of its members. Community is an important agent that imparts informal education not only to children, but also to adults. A person can learn many things when she or he comes in contact with new people and new places. She or he can learn new languages and new terms or concepts in his or her own mother tongue. She or he can acquire or discard certain beliefs, rituals and practices of a community while mingling in that community. Community supports an individual in preserving his or her cultural heritage. Community encourages its members to support each others at times of difficulty. In craft community, People learn skills and expertise from generation to generation. For instance, pot makers, bamboo mat weavers or handicraft makers work as a community. Children of these communities learn the respective skills through observation, gradual participation and involvement. This learning of skill and skill related knowledge is an informal kind of education which includes much subtle knowledge about their crafts and its related areas. For instance, people who work in bamboo sectors know the best season for cutting bamboo and reed from the forest or the cultivated area for reducing fungal infection of the bamboo and reed. Traditional knowledge and practice is handled over from generation to generation through community learning. In community learning also, there is no fixed time and formal teachers. The senior experts are consulted in case of doubts and when an expert opinion is required. In the case of craftsman community, people works either from their home or from a particular place for fixed hours, even when these hours are flexible. Children come and play in that place. While playing, they watch the making of products, at times attempt to make some parts with waste materials. Sometimes they also help elders in small chorus. Thus, gradually a child learns the different stages of a complicated production. Community act as a force that control or regulates the do's and don'ts of its members. It is a place of mutual cooperation and respect. Children also learn the ways of respecting elderly people in their community and in their family. Community works as a mediator in between the family and the state. Usually, community preserves the culture of a particular area through routinized customs, rituals, languages, slangs, etc. During the initial phase of British rule in India, many of the local schools and pathashalas were managed and financially supported by the village communities. Buildings for these formal schools were provided by communities and teachers were appointed and monitored by them. Let me summarize the session. In this unit, we attempt to identify some important agencies of education other than the state and their role in imparting informal education. The informal agencies of education are family, peer group and community. Family has a crucial role in giving informal education to children and adults. Peer group effectively works among teenagers and youth as an educating field. Community educates both adults and children by preserving and circulating the culture and tradition from generation to generation. All the three agencies impart education in purely informal ways and without having a prefixed curriculum as that used in formal education. Time and period of learning is completely flexible and acquiring knowledge happen during life situations rather than during a fixed time limit. Now, you can try to answer the questions given here. What are the roles of family in educating a child? How did community educate a person? What are the different types of agencies of education? How can a peer group function as an agency of education? What are the merits and demerits of a peer group? Now, you can go through these books for reference. Sociology of Education, written by Chandra S.S. and Rajendra Kumar Sharma, published by Atlantic Publishers, New Delhi in the year 2004. Education in India, written by Rao R.K., published by Kalpas Publication, New Delhi in the year 2005. Hope that you have enjoyed the session. We will meet again with another topic. Thank you.